So this is the work in progress of the Quadcopter version 2.0. The camera and the gimbal is being installed. The servos are all wired up and sleeved. Under here, the AV video wires and the power for the camera are all sleeved, tested. It all works. I just need to wire up the servo lengths once I've installed the APM. Receiver wired up. Everything but the power, which will come from the APM once it's installed, and I can measure the length of the cable. We've got the telemetry input as well. There's RSSI and PPM out. You've got the Arduino Pro Mini, or Nano, I think Mini. And it's going to handle all the lights, and it will also convert the MAV data into a FreeSky format for the receiver if I want down the road. It's also going to get signals from the APM via the GPS and ARM LED outputs, and also via the camera trigger and from this wire for just wiring up like channel 8 on the receiver to do other things. I got the video receiver here, or video transmitter, sorry, 200 milliwatt with the polarized, circular polarized antenna. Down here you got the OSD. There's the 5 volt input, and the MAV data will go there once that cable is made. There's the serial telemetry, the one right here. I just need to lengthen the cable once I got the APM installed. We've got power filter for the camera, which is 100 microhenry inductor, a 470 microfarad cap, and I think a 15 nanofarad cap. So all seem to be working okay. Over here I have the 12 volt side of the OSD. I got video in, power in, video out, and power out. So the 12 volt comes into the OSD, goes out to the receiver, or sorry, the transmitter, and then over to the camera via the filter. And it seems to work well. Then the video obviously comes back from the camera to the OSD and then to the transmitter. Also, and then this is the antenna for the 900 megahertz telemetry. We've got Afro ESCs, 20 amp, Simon K obviously, and they are, I cut the wires down and just shortened it up, eliminated the bullet connectors on the motor side. I still left them in on the battery side, just to make it a bit easier to take the chopper apart if I ever have to. And I didn't want to get into desoldering the power board yet to get the connectors off. This is extra 12 volt for the high beam LEDs. When I install those, they'll probably go mounted on top of the camera, maybe on the gimbal, somewhere like that. You've got the Turnigy 2213 980 kV multi-star motors here. I balanced them, a little bit of tape on them, you can see. I'm going to put 1045 carbon props on those. It should be pretty good. I've got LEDs in the motor mounts here. It's probably the best one to see there. And so those are controlled via the Nano in here, which I can set up to do different patterns of whatever based on arming, GPS, manual input, what have you. And so the last thing is to do, I have to mount the APM isolation mount onto these standoffs, which will, I have the template, I just have to cut it, and then the GPS and that is all set to be mounted on top of the APM, and I'll just need to wire these, the ESCs, figure out if I want to just run the signal or the whole wire up there. I need to lengthen the servo wires here, then they'll need to come and loop around, so then they'll definitely need an extension. The the analog input here is all ready to go. It's all wired up to the APM, to the RSSI, and to the power indicator, or the power sensor, voltage sensor that's inside with the power distribution. This is the 5-volt wire that I'm going to have to cut for the APM. It's actually going to come up on this side probably, and it will it's going to provide 5 volts to the APM obviously, and then that'll power this, the receiver, the serial, and the GPS from the APM. Other than that, I think that's just about it, and I just need to go down and finish those off, and then hopefully later today maybe get some flight testing in. We'll see. I just need to finish balancing one of the props. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna have to secure the camera gimbal here with a little bit of glue. The screws don't quite fit, but a little bit of hot glue, and they hold in real nice. So everything so far has worked. I checked the video. All the video, the whole FPV system is working. I just haven't written the code yet to control the LEDs. I might just put something on that just turns the LEDs on, so I can. But I have checked them and they do work. And the FreeSky, that thing has been working fine. Doing other things as testing with the ESCs and that, so I imagine it works fine. The RSSI is working. I tested it before I took it apart, and the telemetry is, if I have to write the code needs to be on this for it to do anything, so we'll get to that at some point. But everything else so far is working, and hopefully once I put the APM on, it all goes together smoothly. All right.